All right, so today what we're doing is we're recording office hours and we have a stated goal. We are going to use Zapier, and the first thing that we're going to try to do is we're going to kind of keep it really easy. We're just going to show you guys how to do Zillow. It's really easy to do. And I got my wife to go ahead and open up her Zillow account for me and clear it all out. She's taken some maternity leave. She's sending all of her referrals to somebody else in the office. So we've got that, but then I got her to open up a realtor.com account. And so we are going to do something special with that one. With realtor.com, you have to parse emails. And that sounds more difficult than it is. But anyway, what we're going to do is, and Mark, just in case you need to take over control at any point, I'm also going to give you remote control. Let me see if I can remember where to do that at. Let's see here.
I think you have to share
Mark,
the screen first, don't you?
You might just request it if you can request
I think you have to share the screen first.
Oh, got it. You're right. Okay, so we're sharing our screen. Here we are. And I'm going to go ahead and do remote control. There we go. Give it to Mark Stepp. So if you need to jump in, you got it. You got control to do so.
Awesome.
So here's the lay of the land, guys. Really quick context. I'm getting all these lead sources. Now, I always want to reinforce good behavior. Top left, I've got a little 1 right here. And if we look down here, I need to touch Jim Gordon. He's part of my VIP contacts. If I click right here, I got a little checklist to go over. It's good to see that, even when we go away, our Realvolve account kind of keeps running. And so what we're going to do though is we're going to go to our workflows, because whenever you're getting ready to start pulling your leads in, you need to know what you want to do. And what I want to do is actually really simple. These are going to be buyers, and I'm going to use the EBL, Essential Buyer Lead. Every new account has this workflow. Now, it's your assignment to customize and to edit this workflow, but that's partially what the welcome classes are for. If you don't remember the welcome classes, or if you missed them somehow, jump on the Realvolve help in the bottom right corner. Ask if you can get a link to do those over. They're free of charge. We let every new user do them, and people, if they want to do them again, they can do them. So, but Essential Buyer Lead does this. If I open this workflow up, it's going to give a text alert to the agent. It's going to do contact intro call and an intro text and an intro email. So whatever we end up starting here, it's going to happen thick and fast. So now that we've kind of covered that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over at the top of my browser. So I'm using Firefox, but it'd be the same for Chrome. I'm going to click on Zapier here, because Zapier is where I actually go and do my work. Actually, let me change this though, because I'm in, this is the wrong time zone. Let's see, it's GMT -5, right? Greenwich Mean Time for those of you who don't know. Well, okay, which one is it though? I know it's not Bogota.
There should be an Eastern option.
Yeah, there should be. It's weird that I'm not seeing it.
No, alphabetically, it would be under E. Keep going down. Oh, no, maybe not.
That's weird.
America.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think I'm a resolute guy, so we're just going to go with that one for now. We're going to save those changes, and we're going to just go into my profile. Or not my profile, let's just go to Zapier. Okay, so I tell you, you tell me, okay, Michael, I've got these Zillow leads and I want to get them in. I still get them every once in a while. They're not that great, but I still use them. Okay, great. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Create Zap. It's that easy. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through searching apps. And if I just start typing Zillow Tech Connect, okay. So we've got that. Now, trigger.
A lot of just a little background there. Anytime you have a trigger, there's a trigger and there's an action. Every trigger is like a custom thing that some company has set up. We have triggers because we've created custom zaps. Not every company has them, and we'll see that here in a little bit with Realtor.com. But fortunately, Zillow has, and their tech side have created the trigger zap so that any new leads that come from their website, not the calls, make sure you understand that, but whenever a lead comes in to that website, they register, then it triggers, thus the section called trigger here, a new contact event.
Yeah, which is this right here, actually. That's what Mark is mentioning right here. So new contact, that's the option that we get. And now that I've done this, I just hit continue. So that's the trigger that we've established. And what we need to do is my webhook URL. So that's really important that you see this right here. We're just going to copy that. We're going to hit continue. And we're going to, well, we're going to test our trigger. And here we go. Request A, Agent John Smith, Beth Homebuyer, Beth Homebuyer. Now, that's assuming, of course, that you've connected your Zillow account to Realvolve. And to connect a Zillow account to Realvolve, basically, let me just show you this really quick. Let's go to Zillow. Now, this is my wife, Kaylee. And what you would do in this case is you would go here to settings in your Zillow account. And you would go to connect my CRM. And what you're going to do is you're going to add a subscription and you're going to select your partners. Now, some people just have it, right? We do not, and that's fine. Like FirePoint, for example, has it. But what we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way down to where it just says Zapier right there. That's interesting. Okay, just behind. We're going to hit next. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just pop in that login email address, just like that. So now whenever Kaylee gets a lead, it's going to be sending it to there. So we're just going to hit save. And that's how I basically added that. And now we're active. Now, since I've done that, let's go back over here. And what you're seeing here, and Mark, tell me if this is not the best way to describe it, but essentially what we're getting here is just all the information that's available. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit continue. And now Zapier wants to know, okay, so where are we going with this? Well, I'm going to go with Realvolve here. And I've already connected my Realvolve account. But what we're going to do is we're going to choose our event and we're going to create a contact. So with Zillow, it was a new lead created. And now I'm sending it to Realvolve with the task to create a new contact. That is the action. So the trigger is Zillow, but the action is what's going to happen in Realvolve. We're going to click continue. And I'm going to choose an account. And I've already done it right here. It's already my Realvolve account. If I didn't have that already, just so everybody knows, in your Realvolve account, what you would do is you would go to your settings and you would go to your...
Don't go in there. Otherwise, everybody will see your...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, you would go...
all the way at the top.
Yeah, you would go to integrations and basically your Zapier API key. Now that you've done that, you're going to... Well, we'll go ahead and choose that one because I've already got it. We're going to hit continue. And this right here, this is where it gets fun. And this is where, you know, different people do it a little differently. I'll just show you all how I do this. So the area right here is called full name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I remember how we have all that information available to us. Well, I tend to go contact first name and then I hit a space bar and Zapier will be able to distinguish those two. Homebuyer. So if you look here, Beth Homebuyer is our person. Title, honestly, I don't care. Company, I really don't care about that either. Home address, I don't really care. Home phone, meh, don't care about that either. Home mobile, that's the one I really care about. So right there, info phone. Now here's the deal. Why is it so important that I get home mobile? Well, because Realvolve cannot, for obvious reasons, send a text message to a landline phone. So I'm bringing it in as the mobile number so that if I have a workflow set up to send an auto text, even if it turns out to be their home number, I'd rather just be safe and put it in home mobile if they provide a phone number so that they can get the text that's part of my workflow that I've designed. Home email, again, this one's going to be Beth Homebuyer right there.
One other thing to note there on both of those fields, those are also key fields. So whenever a lead comes in, it does check both the home mobile and the home email to see if we have an existing contact. If we have this contact by either phone number or by email or both, it doesn't matter, then it will go ahead and if it doesn't find it, then it'll go ahead and create a new contact. If in the event it does find it, then it will update the existing contact.
That's right. That's right. That's a really good point. I'm glad you mentioned that too. I got a little distracted. Just got a text. Wife got her disclosure agreement signed, or no, her DA. Anyway, that means we're getting paid, so it's a good thing. We're gonna tags. Okay, so tags is interesting because when I go in here, I can choose different fields that I could bring in as a tag. Now, this is an interesting one because I don't really have anything in here that I really want to bring in as a tag. But here's the cool part. I don't have to. I can just type it in. I can type in a tag. And so I could just call it a Zillow lead like that. And then, well, hold on. Let me do that just to make sure I get that enter button. So whenever this comes in, this person's going to come in as a Zillow lead. Contact source.
One thing on the tags also is in the event that you want to tag them with multiple different tags, just put a comma between them, comma separated. So you can use Zillow lead, comma, and then whatever else. And sometimes, people will put in maybe a maximum price range or minimum price range in there as a possible tag as well. So you can pull up people based off of a price range.
That's a good point.
It's up to you.
Contact source, I just chose web, or I can create a custom one if I want to. Actually, yeah, let's just do a custom one just for fun. Well, no, we'll just do contact source. We'll do web.
Yeah, it does pull the list from your available list, and it's best to choose those. I believe you can choose a source and create it, but you're really better off not doing that.
Start workflow on a new contact. Okay, well, remember, we have that one that I wanted to do, and so it's literally just going to be essential buyer lead right there. Start workflow on contact update. That's another choice that I have as well. I could whenever new update information comes in, it can do that again. I really don't want to do that though.
This is useful whenever if you've got a lead already in there, potentially they've already started that. Maybe you want to do some kind of separate update workflow that just happens whenever they do, maybe they come in again after a certain amount of time or something. And then that next choice allows you to run that only once, that update piece only once in the event that it does happen. Otherwise, if you choose no, then each time they update, it'll run that same workflow again and again.
Now, record owner, you can choose, or you can round robin it. We're not really going to cover round robin today just because of time, but record owner, I've set that. Now, notes. This is one area where I do things a little differently because I can bring in the same line of information twice, and I want to do that, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. I'm interested in the home at 123 South Main Street, so I want to just bring that in as a note, and I'll tell you why. When I log into Realvolve and I see the new contact is coming and I go to that profile, I'll see that note at the very top so I don't have to look deeper into the contacts. Attachment URL, no need. No text message, especially if I'm using a workflow. Contact stage. Okay, this is, kind of maybe up to you all, but I'd say this person's aware of me. Status, I'd say they are a prospect. I don't think that they're a suspect quite. Now, all this stuff right in here, pretty much skipping it. Rent or own, I don't know, doesn't matter. Preferred contact method, I don't know, doesn't matter. Category, I do like to go ahead and pre-assign this one. I'm going to bring in Beth Homebuyer as a D. Kids, we wouldn't know that yet. Active, yeah, sure. And then contact type. Well, I'm going to bring this person in as a prospect.
Can I back us up just a little bit here?
Yeah, sure.
Let me scroll back up here. So there's a field here for interested in property address.
Yep, this one right here.
This one is really good. We have one field in the database. While he did put it in as a note, that's great so that you can see that in the note section. But you might also want to have, in this case, we put it in as one specific field so that whenever you maybe send a text to either yourself as a notification that, hey, Beth Homebuyer's interested in 123 Main Street, Irvine, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
At least you know the property that they're interested in. So
that's a
by
good
putting
point.
that there, it's a dedicated field that you can use as a merge field within your text. Or if you're sending a confirmation email to the lead, you might say, hey Beth, just saw that you were interested in 123 Main Street. Let me know how I can help you. In the meantime, I'll also find some other properties that are similar to this and give you some more information. Let me know,
Yeah,
how I can help.
that's good. And honestly, with this field, if it's just for me, I probably just need the first line, just the street address.
Really, you
Uh,
do. But
you know,
it,
I would, if I were to keep the city in though, Mark, would I just put a comma between, or would I just leave it all on one line?
you could put a comment. I mean, basically anything that these are like merge fields. So anything that you put into these fields, addition to the field itself, will be in the fields that it gets merged into. So
Yeah, I'll keep the city in there just, in case there's, you might be like a California agent. You've got, 6 different towns that you're over that all have Main Street in them, something
yeah.
like that.
The other thing that I would probably do, just that I do specifically because these are buyer leads, and with Zillow, they do give us additional information that some other leads may not. But one of the things that they do give us is some of the price range, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, stuff like that. If those are things that you're interested in, those would be put up as merge fields into the notes field as well. And I
Yeah.
would typically label them like up in the notes field where you have the address, make a new line, and then the next line put in like beds, and then maybe put minimum dash maximum
Or
as the.
yeah, actually, I'll show that really quick. That's a good point. And this one would be easy. I would just kind of hit the, and what I would do is I would put this in. I would say price range colon, and then I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to show all my options. We're just going to,
I would do the min price and max price on those.
yeah,
You can do a min price and then dash max
uh-huh,
price.
that's right. So that right there will just, that's just nice to have. That's a really good point.
Bedrooms, bathrooms. There's several fields in there. You choose
Mhm.
the ones that you want to know about and make those available in that note field whenever it comes in.
So at this point, I'm actually pretty pleased. I'm going to hit continue. And what we first now get is we just get a rundown of all the things that are available. Yeah, I'm interested in, there's that, there's that. Okay, before I do this though, I want to go into Realvolve. I just want to double check, make sure I don't have this particular person in Realvolve because I could. And so we're just going to type in Beth. Okay, no Beth. Good. We'll just kind of exit out that, make sure I'm not running any filters. Nope, we're at all contacts. Okay, wanted to double check on that. So what we're going to do is we are just going to test and review. Now, a contact has just been sent to Realvolve, and we're just honestly waiting for that contact to enter into Realvolve. I'll be honest, most days when things seem to be operating smoothly, it seems to me like the test, or really even just the lead itself, usually takes about 5 to 10 seconds. Usually doesn't take that long. Sometimes, when you're running tests in, a system like this, it'll take a little bit of time. It's not optimal, but, well, hold on. If I go up here, I got my little alarm bell.
So
Okay,
Beth,
workflow. Yeah, it happened.
Beth was created. So it says Zapier, your contact Beth Homebuyer was created successfully. So that was the first step that did. Then at that same point, because she was a new contact, it also created or started the workflow on Beth as well.
Let me stop my share really quick here because I also just got this text message. So, and it says new contact Beth Homebuyer has come into Realvolve. Please reach out. Gives me her mobile, her email, and then it thanks me. That's nice. So yeah, my workflow was designed to do that, and it's doing that. So that's good. We're operating quickly. And if I just click on Beth Homebuyer right here, you'll notice now, look at this. Here's what I've sent. I'm looking forward to working with you. And then I'm interested in the home at 123 Main Street, price range 300 to 500,000. So that note's just right there front and center. And on top of that, I've got this red item where if I click on this, it's got her number. I can put in some notes and the property address that they're interested in. So nice, right? Okay. Now I'd love to linger on this, but really we don't have enough time to really linger on stuff like this. Can't rest on our laurels. We're going to turn the Zap on, and okay. Your Zap is on. Do you want to share a copy? No, not right now. Let's go to my Zaps though, really quick here. And I've got my Realvolve Hero, my open house. I need to name this.
One thing that you want to make sure that you guys are aware of is that if you go in and you make changes to the layout, not the naming itself, but the layout of any of these things, Zapier will automatically turn off your Zap. So you might go in there, make a few changes, and if you don't think about it or test it or anything, thinking, well, I'll just leave it the way it is, it'll stop because it's turned itself off because you've made some kind of internal change. So just be aware of that. So
it's 26 minutes after, and now we're going to do the next one. I think we can do it. I'm not worried about it. Let's talk about Realtor.com. And the reason I really wanted to talk about Realtor is because it gives me the opportunity to show off another feature. Not everybody does some kind of integration with Zapier, unfortunately. So let me show you how to do this. What you're going to do is you are going to go to a new website address called, and it's basically up here in the top corner, parser.zapier.com. And it's a outflow of Zapier. And what you can do is you're just going to create an account. And if I'm in your shoes, I just basically use my own account to create the account, my own Zapier account to create this. But what you're going to do is the first time you log in, it's going to look exactly like this. So what you'll do is you're going to create a mailbox. And what you've done is right now, it's already creating this. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll skip waiting. And I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to say this. We're just going to call this Big Mike Realtor leads. And at robot.zapier.com. Okay.
So every time it uses this mail parser, it's always going to be at robot.zapier.com. You have to make sure that you've got a unique name, and that's why he called it Big Mike Realtor Leads. It puts in some kind of arbitrary code, but it's really, whenever you send something to that, does it really make sense? By putting in there Big Mike, he knows that's kind of the unique part. Where Realtor Leads, he knows that it's from Realtor.com. So,
or I could do Michael Shawley Realtor Leads. That one's easy to work too. There's probably no one else out there using that address, right? Because there might be like a rural Big Mike out there agent who's just selling horse property or something, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to save address and template. Now the template's blank right now. Don't worry about that. We've made our little guy here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click or triple click, and I'm going to hit Command C to copy that because I need that address. Don't want to forget it. Now, over here, we're in Realtor.com. We're in my wife's little agent area. And normally, like if we go home, you're here, right? So this is like her little agent dashboard. And, she was embarrassed when I told her that I wanted to do this. She said, well, just make sure and tell everybody that I just don't do Realtor.com. It's not very good around here. Whatever, she's a great agent. She stays busy. She just got out of commercial. So she's new to residential. Anyway, up here in the top corner, you've got this area where you've got login details, settings right there. Okay, so you're going to go to your settings. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to general settings, MLS, notification, lead settings. Okay. Now, you got profile leads, and you can hover over this and see these are leads that you received from your profile on Realtor.com. Then you've got courtesy leads. These are buyer and seller leads you receive from realtor.com and markets you cover. So we're going to focus on courtesy leads. We're going to go here where it says no email address configured. This is where the parser email address comes into play. We're going to hit change. And this is really important. Select email type. All right. We're going to scroll down here and lead parsing. Okay. And then here, we're going to paste Michael Shawley, realtor leads at robot.zapier.com. This is not plain text. Well, actually, which one is this?
It is plain text. You want
it
it to
is.
be
Okay.
plain text. Yeah.
Good. And by the way, you can do multiple emails too if you want to. Like, Nathan, I could add your email address if I wanted to, or I could add Mark's.
The advantage of the plain text option is that you don't have to filter through all the HTML junk that gets added. So anytime any service, if you're going to be doing this stuff, if they offer a plain text, always choose that because it's your cleanest form of email.
That's
Typically,
right.
it'll have some kind of label like name, colon, and then the name, address, colon, and then the name. And then you can just parse through that.
So do I want to receive a text message for these leads? Well, if I wasn't doing something like what I'm about to do, I probably would. But my workflow is going to give me the text alert already. So I'm going to deselect this and I'm going to hit save. All right. Now what we're going to do is...
If you go back in there, there should be an option, unless they've changed it recently, to send a sample.
Yeah, I was going to say, here, we'll go back in here.
Yeah, send test over on the right-hand side.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're sending a test to that email that we've logged in. Now, this might take a few moments. Actually, it might already be done. Who knows? But I'm going to refresh my browser here. Never hurts to refresh the browser.
There you go.
And we're going to now view emails. And yeah, right here. So this is
at this point in the it's showing you the entry, but you've not created any kind of template on it. And a template basically is figuring out where are the fields in this email. So you're going to want to click on the template option there. And then it'll say you need to create a template. So click on the click here.
Okay.
So now it's taking that email that came in and showing you just a sample of what it's going to look like whenever a real lead does come in. And now you have to define, and this is the hardest part of the whole thing, which really isn't hard, it's just tedious, is figuring out what you want to name these things. And you can name them whatever you want, but name them so that they make sense. In this case, you might name it first name. Click on save, and then highlight. You're just highlighting the content, not the label. It uses the label to identify where that content's going to be. So name, first name, last name, email, and phone are the big things that we're wanting there. Home email.
Now, something I just want to point is just, doesn't do capital letters in this part. So it's just all lowercase.
If you type in capital, it'll convert it to lowercase.
Home mobile, we'll save that. Now, and this is where we can, really get into this email. Property address. Okay. So right there, don't worry about all that extra pink right there. I'm just going to call this, interested in. I mean, honestly, the main thing is that you just need to know what it is whenever you're doing it. And you'll see here in a minute. We're going to hit that. And I can do more. Basic property attributes. So I could call this price, right?
You could. What I would almost do in this situation is just highlight from basic property attributes below that next line, all the way down to the last field that you want to capture, and just put that into a notes area.
Yeah.
Or property. Point. You might call it property information.
Yeah. I like that. Property info, and then hit save. So we've got that right there. So that's good. Listing agent.
You may also want that comments that was up a little bit higher. right under comment, there's a, this is a test lead. You could highlight that line
Mm-hmm.
and then put that as comment or notes. Yeah, either one.
There we go. That's good. And listen, these can get really complex, really crazy. This is probably good though. Now that
That's
we've
pretty
done this,
much all you really need from that particular one. If you really wanted the MLS ID, you could and create that
yeah,
separate, but
we're going to save address and template. And there we go. Okay. Now to get this, I got to go. Now, this is what I got to remember though. I got to remember this mailbox name. Michael Shawley, Realtor, leads at robot.zapier.com. Okay. Now we're going to create a news app, but this time it's going to get more fun. We're going to just type in the word parser, email parser by Zapier. That's what we're pulling in. So we're going to go here and we're going to choose a new email and we're going to hit continue. Okay. Sign into parser by Zapier. Okay. Authorize. Nice. Continue. Okay. Now choose value. What is this? Okay. That means I'm choosing the mailbox. So you can have multiple mailboxes with multiple different sources that you parse. We often have to do that here.
and one thing to realize there is, even though you create one, a parser for realtor.com, if you're getting any other leads from any other place, you have to create separate parsers because every email is mapped differently. It's got a different layout in that parser area. So you can't just pick one that you've got. You've got to make sure that you've set up that parser mapping.
Yeah, that's true. Continue.
Continue.
And, and we know kind of the rest, but we'll go ahead and do it just because it's good to see this more than once. We're going to test our trigger. Yeah. Okay. So test email is our actual person, for lack of a better word. We're going to hit continue. And now we just choose Realvolve. What's our event? We're going to create a contact. We're going to hit continue. And we're going to choose our account. It's me right here. We're going to hit continue. And okay, and so let's just kind of run through this really quick. Full name. What is this? Okay. Well, first name, last name. Okay. And by the way, just in the future, if you're ever curious, there's so much stuff in here. Just look for the ones that say parse output, because those are the ones that you've manipulated. So we're going to go into first, and then we're going to space and then hit last.
And if you don't put that space between there, it'll put both words together and stick it in the first name field. So that space between the first name and the last name is very important.
By the way, if you just type in what you're looking for, which is why it's good to remember those things, parser output email home mobile right here. Or if maybe you just want to make it a little bit easier, you can just type in parse out, and now you've got like a whole parse. There we go. And so now these are all the fields that we've kind of parser outputted here. What is that again? Home email? Okay, yeah. There we go. And we got that little bad boy right there. Okay, tags. How about this? How about realtor.com? And how about lead? Simple. Choose source. Okay, this is where we can go again. We're keeping this simple. I could have chosen realtor.com. I could go into my Realvolve account and create that. And if I were to go to the bottom and refresh my fields, that would then start showing up. But start workflow and new contact, you better believe it. That's the whole purpose of this. Essential buyer lead. Workflow, start workflow and new contact. Nope. Okay. Record owner, again, I can round robin it, or I can choose myself, or I can choose someone else. We're keeping that one simple for now. Notes. Okay. Let's open up, show all options here. And if we go in, we remember that we had this parser output note, but then I probably just want to hit space and find that other one.
Property info.
Property info. That's right. So this will be good. Exit out of there. And again, this is another thing where I always want to get these things filled in. Why? Because it's automatically updating the contact cross section from the moment I contact them. And Mark, how does texting affect the contact cross section or satisfy any fields yet? Or is
Unfortunately, it doesn't, not yet. We are in process of adding that.
Okay, cool.
Allowing that to get added.
Property interested in address. Now, I can't remember, did I parse the property address? I didn't. So in this case, I wouldn't be able to fill that in, but that's okay. Preferred contact method, we wouldn't know. This person is a D. Active true. Scroll down a little bit. This is going to be a prospect again. Now, I don't think I have anybody named, who is it? Test email. But let's go back to Realvolve really quick. Let's just type in the word test. Okay, yeah, that was a global search, but it didn't find anybody. So I think we're in good shape. So what we're going to do is we are just going to hit continue. And yeah. Oh, well, yeah, let's go ahead and name the Zap just because realtor leads. We're just going to hit test and continue. I can always come back in and edit the Zap too. Like I didn't have to hit test and continue. It's all fine. So now we are simply awaiting that particular thing to start coming through. And if we were to go over here to Realvolve, go to our dashboard. Yeah, there's my call to Beth home buyer right there. Let's just refresh our browser.
Those tests are so tests are run in batches, so those I've seen take some time, but typically whenever an email comes in, it's an instant email, so
yeah,
it'll come right in.
So this little guy right here, yeah, and normally I'll get my. We are waiting on the test because you know, so why, just some things to think about as I'm kind of thinking through all this. One of the things that I want you all to think about is whenever you are using Zapier and you are using the part of Zapier where you are technically mapping or you're basically setting up the fields. Think about it a little bit in terms of tags and in terms of lists. I'll show you something that I think is like worth looking at. I have my realtor.com leads coming in and they receive a tag called lead, right? Okay, so let's go to Realvolve really quick here and let's go and let's create really quick a filter. We're just gonna, and there's a reason I'm using a filter and not just searching by tag. There's a reason. We're just gonna go by tag though, and we're just going to look up lead. And I've got one person, and we're just gonna hit next. I wonder who it is.
Yeah.
Karen, okay, I thought it might be, if it's test lead. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna call this realtor slash Zillow leads. And we're gonna hit apply. Why? Because now what I can do is I can sort these by entry date ascending so that I log into Realvolve. Let's say I was gone for the weekend. You know, if you're in
I would do descending.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, descending is better. We'll go descending just like so. Why? Okay, well, here's the deal. Let's say I went, you know, and I'm in Georgia here and everybody goes to St. Simon before the UGA games. I've gone long 3-day weekend. I come back and I want to know who came in first and who am I going to call, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to my Realtor Zillow leads filter and I'm sorting by entry date descending so I know who came in first and the order that I need to start calling people. It's just a simple thing that you want to do. So just, I guess the practices that I would suggest is just be mindful that you know which tags you're using so that you can have a list like this whenever you are jumping into Realvolve. Now, I think test email has indeed come in. And I know that because I got this note sitting right here. And so we've got some information right here. And so, yeah, we're good to go. Now, I could have gone in and edited this a little bit more cleanly. Like I probably could have put all this on the same line and put like, you know, property notes or something like that in there. That would have been easy enough to do. In fact, let's just do that just because we have a little bit of time and it's good for you to see how you can do these things. So I clicked on the Zap, Realtor Leads. And whenever you want to go and edit a Zap, you click on the Realvolve side of it usually. You're going to click there. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the setup
action.
and you're going to go back through these fields right here. Now, what am I trying to do here? Well, parser output note. Okay, yeah. So this is where I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to call this property notes again, just like that. And then well, yeah, I mean, it'll come out fine.
We just created one big note field. If you had gone in and made separate individual fields of everything, then it would,
like a comma.
You'd be able to put in, well, no, in the parser for that property note field, I had you click on the kind of the top line and go down to the bottom line. So there's like 3 lines of notes all in one big area for the property note. You could make a case for if you want them individual fields, you know, highlighting each individual field, it's adding complication to it. And technically, you know, it all goes in the same place and it's just easier to do it that way.
So I just wanted to make that one little change. And, you know, it's just an aesthetic change. I just wanted property notes to come in before that, just so it looks a little better to me. Now that I've made that change, I just go down here, I hit continue, and I just, yeah, I don't need to retest the action. I'm just going to turn the Zap back on because I edited it and the Zap went back off. So now that we've edited that, I can click on this little wheel up here again. And now all in this, you know, all in our office hours, we've done an open house, a Realtor Leads, and a Zillow Leads call. This one right here, I don't remember what this is for, but I'm just going to trash it. And so, yeah, it really moved to the trash. We're out of there. There we go. And honestly, especially if you're like a new agent, maybe, these are probably the 3 Zaps that you need. You know, if you're a Zillow agent, you're getting Trulia Leads too, probably. But that'll come through with your Zillow, you know, Zap. So now that we've done that, we've got our parser set up. Realtor is, you know, doing this. We're going to go ahead and hit save here.
One note on this is, I mean, you do have the profile lead option and the courtesy lead.
Yeah.
You can set up the same email address the same way. They do actually send the same format for both of those lead types.
I did.
So whether it's a profile lead or a courtesy lead.
Huh. Okay. I didn't know that. That's actually good to know. Well, since we know that, let's just go ahead and highlight this really quick here, and we'll just hit Command Copy, and we'll change, and we will go here, and we'll just go find our lead parsing, plain text, and
if you
hit save. And
you can do the test as well there, but it would create another test, the exact same person again, test email. But now that way you have 2 different types of lead sources going to the same place. Now, if you really, really wanted to differentiate those, you could create a separate email parser email address and do that, but I don't see the need.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless you just really want to find out how many courtesy leads you really get and how many profile leads you really get.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I would actually be curious what the stats are on that too. So, you know, this is realtor.com, and we've done Zapier, and we've done the parser. And on top of that, I've just had a chance to kind of show you all how all that fits together. Now, listen, let's not pretend that wasn't like a lot of information. For me and Mark, it's like, oh, ho hum, we do this all the time, right? But, you know, you, now that we've done this, I've got 3 activities. I still got to touch Jim Gordon here. But now I need to send something to test email, and I need to call both test email and I need to call Beth Homebuyer. And so truly, I actually need to probably keep an eye on this, and we need to get this back over to my wife's Realvolve account, because we might, for some reason, get a lead. Who knows, right? And so, um, but fortunately, because I have Realvolve, I know what to do if they come our way. And so,
we do have samples of both those the Zapier setup for Realtor.com and Zillow in our help. If you go into help and just do Zapier as a search, you can find it. It does show you kind of the older screens, but they do the same thing.
okay. So Victor's actually asking a really interesting question. Victor's asking, how do you create the front end of data capture for an open house? I actually did that on a previous office hours. Let me see if I can find it really quick, and I'll tell you. Let me stop that really quick here. And
most people use like Google Forms and create a Google form for that, putting in the like name, phone number, or email, let them register using your iPad if you want. With COVID, you may or may not want to do that. You can also, I've seen some people where they've created a QR code where they can just scan it and it takes them to the URL, so they can do it on their own phone and register on their own phone. And whenever they fill out that information, then it sends it straight to Zapier. With Google Forms, it actually puts it into a Google Sheet. And there is a Google Sheet Zap that will allow you to create the columns of information as fields in the Zap.
That's right. And this is actually an example, Victor, of an open house form. And the way that I would treat this would be, I would get my iPad or my Galaxy tablet. You can even put it on a phone if you want to. But this right here is my open house form. And what's going to happen is you're going to get first and last name in there, mobile number, email. Do you have an agent? And you can actually do this one of 2 ways. Most of the time, what you want to do is you want to send it to yourself and then just bring it up on like whatever tablet or device that you're going to use. And in fact, here, we're actually getting we got a chat right there. Yeah, QR code works really well as well, of course. But what we would do is we would just send that to, myself, for example. So Mike at realvolve.com. We're going to send it. So that's being sent, and I'm going to get this for myself, and it's my open house form right here. So I'm going to click on fill out form. And now, without all that other stuff, it's right here. And again, I would just pull out my tablet and I would hand it to someone at my open house, or I would fill it in and they could share the information with me. But, let's just say Bert, I wish I knew how to spell Bacharach, but I don't. Let's just say, well, here. There we go. Bruce Wayne. Mobile number, 417-555-2121. Email thebat@gmail.com. That's probably a real person. And then does he already have an agent? I do not have someone to represent me yet. Okay, great. So then what would happen is we'd hit submit. Now, what's really cool is, and this is the part that you're not seeing right now, but if I go back to the original setup, I've got a response here and I can open up the spreadsheet. So here's all that information that just came in. It's got a timestamp, it's got an email address, it's got first and last name, mobile, the bat. I do not have an agent to represent me yet. And I actually have, if we go back into Zapier here, I actually have my open house Zap still turned on. So if we go to my Zaps up here, at least I think I do. Yeah, I mean, it's on. So I'm assuming this is okay. So let's click here and Let's just refresh our browser really quick here. Well, okay, you know what? Just occurred to me. This may not. This may be a different form. This one may not actually be connected.
It may be a different
Yeah,
account that you've got it set up as.
yeah. I might be a different account. So who knows who's getting Bruce Wayne as a contact right now? Um, but what's cool is, I mean, check this out too. Test email and Karen Tucker are in order right here because we're sorting those leads that are coming in. And it might also just be that
It may just
you
take
know
time.
that particular thing might, yeah, just be taking a little bit of time. But the point is, it does, just as Mark said, it creates a spreadsheet. You can connect that spreadsheet to Zapier. And then, all you do once someone's filled out their, that particular page is you submit another response and you get another blank copy. We used to use this, Victor. I used to be in politics and I was a lobbyist for private aviation. We would go to air shows with phones and iPads on the runway. And we would just have people sign up on Google Forms. And it would basically, we use Zapier and it would upload a database of people who would then auto write a letter to whatever congressman their zip code dictated. So it was kind of a fun little thing to do. So if you ever see like a college kid, throwing an iPad in your face and it's political, that's probably what they're doing. Um, so be aware of that. So yeah, and it, and it worked too. It was, they were, the pilots are a fairly interesting group of people. So, but having said that though, let's refresh our browser one more time. I suspect it may be a different Zap. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's fine. But I think you all get the gist. Here's the other thing though too. Like if you're trying to do this and you just, you're like, there's like little pieces that are missing, jump on help. You know, I can tell you this right now. If someone on our help team sees that you're like trying to do something like that and that you're really close, they're not going to like, mistreat you and say, ha ha, no, they're going to help you. They're going to be impressed and they're going to be happy to see that you're trying and that you're doing something, as complicated as that. And so, don't be a stranger and don't be reluctant to ask for our help when you need it.
Yeah.
It is our deepest fear that any of you would struggle quietly.
There's two other questions there. One is about merging duplicate contacts. You can merge them within the contact area, do like a view all and select which 2 or 3 contacts you need to merge into one and go through a merged piece. We do have some help on that. The other question that just came up was also about Facebook leads. Now, unlike Zillow and unlike Realtor.com with the parser, you can do Facebook leads, but you do have to have a paid account for Zapier. Facebook has a Zap. It has a built-in Zap that allows you to bring in those leads, but because of their agreement or something with Zillow or with Zapier, it requires a paid account. If you just have a free account, you can do 2 steps, the trigger and the action, and up to 100, I think 100 zaps per month, and you can use a free Zap account. If you do more than that, if you have more leads than 100 that come in a month, or if you need to use Facebook as a lead source, that means you'd have to go into a paid account of Zapier. And I don't remember, they change their prices so often, but check on Zapier.com for pricing. And then they have a premium. There's a few different premium Zaps that you can use that require a paid account. If it says premium on it, it means it has to be a paid account. But you do the exact same thing. There's literally no difference. You pick the Facebook account, you pick the ad that you want, and then it'll create the fields that you need, and you put those fields into the Realvolve Zap, just like he showed on all of these. Everything else is the same.
By the way, we lucked out. Actually, it was connected. So we need to update Bruce Wayne's record here. And yeah, so, we just kind of got these things covered right here. And if I remember what that workflow was, Victor, we built this in a meeting. There's actually a recording of it on our Facebook wall. You might have to scroll down to like January 28th or July. I'm sorry, July 28th. But if I just click on Open House here, yeah, it's a 6-step workflow. So what it does is it gives me a task to update the contacts record. The day after, it sends an email to the lenders. It sends a text thanking them to stop by. It sends an email about the lenders too. So that's all day one. Then the day after, Bruce Wayne's going to get a follow-up text, and then I'm going to have a scheduled follow-up call. So yeah, just really simple open house follow-up. Though I'll tell you though, it actually takes care of someone for like a couple days while you're kind of managing all those other leads. So it's nice to have. Anyway, listen, it's 1 o'clock. I know it probably felt like a whirlwind, but there's good news. We'll have this recording posted on Facebook, and we have a YouTube channel as well, and you will see this posted in the office hours playlist. Right now, there's only 2 other recordings in there, but by the end of today, there will be 3. So, really appreciate everybody coming in, and I cannot say this enough. If you're struggling, listen, don't struggle quietly. Use our help feature. Also use our how do I feature as well. It'll basically walk you through something that you need to do. And, we're here for you, and we really appreciate you coming in today, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye, everyone.